What's going on, guys? It's your boy Skylar Scrolls. Today we'll be going over the top 5 things that I learned while getting Knight in one day in Auto Chess Mobile. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, guys, I'd like to thank you for checking out the video, and I'll try to go over these as fast as I can. Alright, so number 1 is going to be flexible. That means do not stick to one build the whole game. Don't try to just go one thing. Don't say, oh, I am only a Goblin player, I am only a Warriors player, I'm only play Cave Clan. Don't stick to just one synergy. Don't stick to just one set of pieces, because that can really mess you over whenever someone else or 2 or 3 other people in your same game are also trying to go, that same build. Because whenever they're trying to go the same build, you're not gonna get as many pieces. You won't be able to get as many 2 or 3 stars on the board, and that when you start getting into the late game, that can really affect you. So for number 2, we're gonna say don't over roll. By not over rolling, I mean don't roll too many times. Try not to roll too early into the game. That'll go into point 3 as well. Try not to roll too much. You may not be getting the things, going your own way. You may not be getting the pieces you're looking for. That's fine. Lose streak does give you a bonus. That is a strategy in this game. Some people just always lost streak because it's an easy way to build an economy. Going into point 3, build an economy. Building an economy means, being smart with your gold, because you only have so much. So typically for me, that means try to pick up as many pieces as I can that I think might help me out later on for the first 5 to 10 rounds. After that, once we're on a win streak or a loss streak, then we start going into, okay, maybe get 1 or 2 here that I can 2-star that has a synergy with something that's on my board. Okay, so now I'm getting into, level 4, level 5. All right, I'll dump 5 gold into trying to level up faster or getting a level because I have this piece that's synergized as well, but I'm never going to zero myself out. So typically, like past turn 15 or so, I like to say I'd have at least 20 gold minimum. And always having that 20 gold, whether you're on a win streak or a loss streak or however you want to do it, always trying to keep that 20 gold. Going into point 4, 2 stars can carry your game early. If you can get just 1 2-star pre-round 10, that can carry you through your early, I'd say first 10 to 15 rounds. A 2-star can carry you, especially if you end up getting more than 1. So keep that in mind as well. Always go back to point 1. Be flexible. So a lot of the times I start off playing Goblin Mech because for some reason the game gives me Goblin Mech every single time. So I always start off with Goblin Mech, and I may get one Goblin Mech 2-star, but the other one not, and then I start getting a bunch of other pieces, and I'll keep that Goblin Mech, Skybreaker or whatever, 2-star on the board because it's stat-wise and damage-wise is just better than everything else that I have, but still building synergies with the rest of my pieces, and then eventually changing him out, or maybe 3-starring him at some point and just keeping him in the game because I got him 3-starred. So always keep that in mind. 2 stars can get you through a lot of things early. Like I said, pre-round 15, maybe even pre-round 20. It just depends on how the game's going. So going into point 5 and my last... I don't want to say my last point. I have 1 bonus point, but my last one is legendary minions are impossible to get. And by that I mean if you're playing Goblin Mech and you need Devastator, it will never come. Personal experience, it just never happens. I don't know why. I personally have never, in the last week or so of me playing the game and playing it almost daily, have not been able to 2-star a legendary minion. I just cannot find. I'll find 3 of them, 3 different ones. I'll find Helicopter, I'll find Devastator, and I'll find Tsunami, the Tsunami thing. I'll find those, but I will not find 3 of each of those. Never happens. Never happens. And then for a bonus, just something that may help you out later on. It's not super helpful early, because you can always just click in the top right in your synergies and look at it. But learn what synergies play well together. You know, overall, like, learn, and I'm not talking just like, hey, Goblin synergy, this synergy, that synergy. I'm talking like, you know, Beast plays pretty well with Warrior because you can get the Werewolf, and you can also get Razor Claws of Druid, so it doesn't really count, but you can also get their, with the Tusk Fighter, their Warrior as well. So you'll have those, and you can also build, you know, the Demon Warrior and get the Warrior buff from that. So learn, you know, not just to synergize two pieces, or I guess get two different synergies going. Try to build off of them as best you can. So for me, I'm always typically going Beast with, you know, Warrior maybe, or Knights. I've played Knights as well. Goblin mech with Warrior. Things of that nature. Like, you always want to try to find what synergies are going to work well together. Because in the end, so like Knights, for example, they have the shield that they can buff up. Their synergy allows a shield for your team, or gives a chance of granting a shield. Blah blah blah, semantics. But then you can go into like Witchers. Witchers lets you play all demons. You could play all demons, so on and so forth. This is not a video on synergies. I just want to throw that out there as well. That's a very good point to make. And then another bonus tip would be learn positioning. Just a couple different ways. Like, if you're playing mainly Warriors and you have a big front line, line your people up in a line, because you want the enemy to fight you head on. But if you have big carries, like if you're watching a little bit of the video that's in the background, if you have big carries like the Agursis Ranger, you want to try to cover and surround that person in the corner so that assassins can't jump to him, the front line won't get to him, and they can just sit there and do DPS the whole time. So just to sum everything up real quick, like, number 1 was be flexible. Number 2, don't overroll, don't roll too many times. Number 3, build an economy. Please build an economy. I don't like seeing turn 25 and people having 0 gold. Number 4, 2 stars can carry you early on into the game. Keep that in mind. Number 5, legendary minions are next to impossible to get, or at least next to impossible to 2-star. It will never happen. Feels bad. And then my 2 bonus points were learn what synergies play well together, and then also like learn a little bit of positioning on how to protect your carries if you're playing that sort of comp. So thank you guys for checking out the video. If you have not liked the video already, please leave me a like, comment, subscribe, show your friends, and roll the outro.